Today I'd like to share with you a piece of research Frog Recruitment undertook last October to better understand graduate unemployment and why this demographic of young people made up a large quantity of the youth unemployment. To start the research, we undertook 150 one-on-one, face-to-face interviews with industry leaders throughout New Zealand. We wanted to gauge from them their thoughts, what was actually happening in their workplace, and what they were preparing to do with graduate recruitment in the coming year. The results of the survey were surprisingly consistent, with many citing that the drivers that they had to why to engage in recruitment was 80% were recruiting, 20% were looking at recruiting in the next 1 to 2 years, and those that weren't recruiting were all saying that they knew they should, and there were particular things in their industry that were stopping them from doing that. The main drivers for recruitment were to grow talent. They could see with an ageing workforce that they needed to grow their own talent. They felt it important to grow the workforce for their industry. It was a succession plan for the baby boomers. And the other side were very much around corporate responsibility. If they didn't do it, who would do it? The next question was around challenges. What challenges did they find in that recruitment program? And that again, consistent and around how do we know we're sourcing and attracting the right people? How do we know we've got the right ones for the role? How do we get a cultural fit? What is a cultural fit? Do young people know what our market is about? Work ethic. How do you work and see work ethic, or how do you work around that when often these young people have not had any work experience? And lastly was around how do we engage these people into our workplace? How do we get managers to see their value? How do we ensure that managers don't feel threatened with someone with a degree coming into a non-degree work environment? One memorable point that was taken from one of the interviews I sat in on was one manager said, "I'm looking for a swan." And when I asked him what a swan was, he beautifully put it that he wanted a graduate who was smart, work ethic, ambitious, and who was nice. The sort of person you'd take home to meet your grandmother and know that they would fit. And when you look at that, it sort of bundles it up nicely that they want someone to fit into the organisation that can make a difference but also belong and feel valued. From this background of information, we thought, how can we help these industries? How do we go about bringing together a program that will not only enhance their workforce, but be ready to install without taking them away from their key goals of business in a very tight market, and in a market where they've got to stay focused and keep their eye on the ball. So from this, with lots of the research and lots of other delving into different ideas, came FrogLIVEWIRES. LiveWires can deliver to companies a whole package of graduates ready to be injected into the workforce. And with that, we looked at what key points of difference would happen to make this a reality. And with that, we've got a very live wire pack that looks at recruiting, sourcing, and making sure we get the right people to fit the job description that they have. We do this around a predictive assessment matrix, which sounds very complicated, but in short, it's about going into the company, benchmarking the role that the person will do, talking to the people that will manage and also train this young graduate. Take all that information, and we call that our benchmark, something we can then target graduates to. Each graduate that comes in are assessed and they're looked at, and they are the arrow that hits that target. And the next third stage of that process is to ensure that the package that we give the company doesn't deviate them from their everyday business. So that's a first day starting pack, and then there's a 90-day transition, which helps managers and trainers train these people and also start from day one right up to 90 days afterwards to ensure that that graduate not only feels that they belong, but they're valued and they are adding and making a difference to the organisation. In New Zealand's current talent economy, it's no longer a hit and miss. It's recruitment at the cutting edge. And it's about something else too. These live wires are fascinating. It's not only what you can teach them, but it's what they can bring to your industry. They're unique, they've got a brand of their own, and they want to learn. Make this happen in your workplace. Introduce a Frog Livewire, and believe me, they will make a difference. I'd like to talk to you further on this, so please do not hesitate to contact me. You can go to our website, www.frogrecruitment.co.nz, and you'll find under Employment Services, Graduate Recruitment Program. I look forward to hearing from you.